I don't know how to start, don't know where to begin. In a world that churns out masterpieces each time it breathes in.
You know what, I think it's massively important because I've seen recently more and more young people talking about anxiety, talking about depression, talking about stress, and I don't know if we always kind of had those things and it was just never mentioned, but it just seems that young people are under such massive pressure constantly, if it's not from school, through exams, through targets they have to reach. It's, you know, stuff that's going on at home or going on with friends. I'm seeing more and more young people, particularly like year 9 onwards, talking about feeling suicidal, feeling like they don't want to be here anymore, but they can't pinpoint why. Querying what the world would be like without them, and for me that's a massive red flag that we need to be getting people to talk, because we've got this whole generation of young people who are growing up with a box in their pocket that's on constantly. They've got Netflix on constantly, phones beeping constantly, they never get away, and it's just not good for your mental health in any way. And whatever I think we can do to provide a slipstream for them to kind of have some way out of that, even if it's just for an afternoon a week or an hour a week or 10 minutes a day, I think that's the least we can do.
Okay, and we're live. Welcome everybody. Hi, my name is Robbie Johnson. I'll be your host for this evening for the official 3 Minute Heroes online launch event for Volume 2 of the album. So yeah, obviously we were supposed to do an official event at the Warren with live music and food and a bit of a do, but COVID had other ideas. Like many other events this year, we've had to reschedule, cancel, but we've decided that we'll do this instead. So we've still got some great content for you this evening. I guess I'll start from the beginning. 3 Minute Heroes, for those of you who don't know, is a mental health and music initiative that brings creative writing to young people to help them get their thoughts down onto paper. The 3 Minute Heroes team then take these words and these pieces of writing and we anonymise them and give them to local bands and artists in the area to basically make original music with, giving the music like a totally unique youth voice. And we have now finished Volume 2 of the album, which is the whole point of this event. Under the circumstances, we've done pretty well to actually get this finished and out there. So the official launch date for that is the 18th of September this year. So this event, what's going to happen? We've got plenty of good content for you. Like I keep saying, exclusive interviews with some of the team that actually helped make 3 Minute Heroes a reality. So Kat Taylor, who is a psychologist with Greater Manchester NHS, they're actually launching their own version of 3 Minute Heroes around Greater Manchester, which is amazing to hear from our perspective, to see it grow legs and go so far. Claire Tomes, who is the safeguarding officer at Wivensey High School, where some of the young people attended, who actually wrote the lyrics for the songs. Jodie Langford, who's one of our own local artists from Hull, who's involved in actually bringing the music and the song to life. She's lucky, she's actually got 2 tracks on the album. One is a spoken word piece and one is a remix that she's done with DJ End of Level Baddie, who is our very own studio worker here at the Warren. And speaking of, there'll actually be some live performances too, so we'll be flicking over to Warren Records, and DJ End of Level Baddie and Jodie Langford will be performing their remix of Wet Newspaper Wishes, which is awesome. I've watched them practice, and yeah, it's a really good performance. As well as Alice Clayton and Brody Milner, they'll be doing the first track on the album, which is Where to Begin. So yeah, lots of juicy stuff. You get all the angles of 3 Minute Heroes to really soak it up and see what it's all about. At the end, we've got a Q&A panel, some guest speakers there, as well as some of the 3 Minute Heroes team will be answering any questions that you might want to ask. So we do encourage you to leave some questions in the comments below. Equally, there will be some questions that we want answers from you from. So we'll be popping up on the screen throughout the video, throughout the event, some little questions that we would like you to answer. So if you could just pop them in the comments below, that would be amazing. So Take a breath. Right, without further ado, the first thing we've got to show you is the first single, which is now out everywhere on Spotify, iTunes, Bandcamp, all the above. It's Joe Russell Brown, and it's Nausea Fatigue. So enjoy that.
of existence at random times. Talk to yourself when alone, love sleeps. And I want to sleep all the time. Think of existence at random times. Talk to yourself when alone, if love sleeps. I want to sleep all the time. Think of existence at random times. Talk to
Okay, so that was Joe Russell Brown with Nausea Fatigue, and the official music video, which was created by our young people at the Warren. That video is now available to stream on our YouTube and our Facebook, so go check it out, leave a comment, give it a like, all that good social media stuff. The single is also available to stream everywhere, so Spotify, iTunes, all your standard streaming platforms. And you can purchase that now on our Bandcamp, as well as pre-ordering the whole album. It is pay what you want. I think there's a 50p charge that Bandcamp insists. But other than that, all the money goes back into helping the Warren, which is a charity that helps young people, and obviously the project 3 Minute Heroes, which is improving the mental health of young people around the UK and in Hull. So I mentioned before that we've got some questions that we'd like you to answer. I've got those questions here. I'll just give them a read out, and then throughout the event, if you can just give them a little bit of a think, a little thought around them, and jot them in the comments below, that would be much appreciated. So the first question we've got is, how has listening to these tracks changed how you think about young people? Or has it? At all? What impact has listening to this music had on you personally? How does it make you feel? Did you like it? Did you not? And has anything surprised you about 3 Minute Heroes so far? So the concept, and maybe you picked out some of the lyrics for those songs there. Yeah, has anything surprised you about that? So yeah, they'll be popping back up on the screen throughout the event, so don't worry if you remember them. Give it a little bit of a think and pop them in the comments. That would be great. So next up, we have an interview with Elle Douglas, who's part of the 3 Minute Heroes team here, and also Kat Taylor, who's a psychologist with Greater Manchester NHS. So I'll pass it over to Elle.
Hi, Kat. Thanks for joining me today. So first off, tell us who you are and how you're involved in 3 Minute Heroes.
Hi, so my name's Kat Taylor, and I'm a clinical psychologist. So I work directly with children and young people in CAMHS. But the reason why I'm involved with 3 Minute Heroes is because I'm managing a programme across Greater Manchester called the Arts, Culture and Mental Health Programme. And we're looking at the role of arts, culture and creativity in supporting mental health and wellbeing. So 3 Minute Heroes is a great example of that.
Amazing. So why do you think that your community needed 3 Minute Heroes?
I think that all communities could benefit from 3 Minute Heroes, really. This principle of giving young people a voice, giving them freedom of expression, being able to connect to others. I think there's so many ingredients to 3 Minute Heroes that would benefit any community. And in the context of the pandemic and people being disconnected and being at home, and also having new feelings, big feelings to deal with and a lot of confusion, I think a project like 3 Minute Heroes can be really helpful towards making sense of the world and connecting to other people.
Amazing. I think that I know that I felt more kind of anxiety and about everything that's going on, and especially when you're on your own in the world, in your house, in your four walls, it can be really lonely. So I don't know how young people are coping with it, because as an adult it's hard and anyway, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think when they all return to school, there is going to be a lot of need. There's going to be a great need for people to share their feelings and process them a little bit. And a project such as creative songwriting, that the opportunity that 3 Minute Heroes gives, I think is going to be really, really important.
Yeah, I think more important. I think from the 3 Minute Heroes perspective of us, we want it to be in more school. We want it to be in every school anyway, but even more so now, because it's just, I worry for young people and how they're going to cope. I worry about everyone coping, but especially young people, especially people who've not been to school or college for like 3 months. It's really sad.
Yeah, I know.
What are you most looking forward to seeing in Manchester's 3 Minute Heroes specifically?
Most looking forward to. I think maybe I would have to say I expect there to be a wide range of different music styles and genres that come out of Manchester. We've got a very, very strong cultural history and also a really diverse population. I think it's really exciting to see all the different styles that might come out of the Greater Manchester 3 Minute Heroes.
And finally, do you have a favourite 3 Minute Heroes song?
I do actually. It's Overthink by El Waco, and it often goes around in my head. I think it's a brilliant song, brilliant kind of idea, and I also think the music video is superb. The dance and the choreography that happens is a great example of how powerful really the arts can be in terms of expression. So I think together the video and the music is that's my favourite, Overthink by El Waco.
Thank you very much, Kat, for joining me, and
It's all right.
I can't wait to see what 3 Minute Heroes Manchester does and to find more about it.
Us too. Thanks for having us on board. It's great to work with you. We'll watch this space.
Thanks very much for that. That was Elle Douglas and Kat Taylor talking about rolling 3 Minute Heroes out in Greater Manchester. A new leg of the project that we're really excited for here at the Warren, and obviously 3 Minute Heroes team. I probably should mention that track that Kat was just referencing, Overthink by El Waco. That was from the first 3 Minute Heroes album. That's been out for a few years already, so you can stream that on Spotify and all the good stuff. So that brings me to the next new single that we've got for you. This is unreleased, so this comes out on the 11th of September by a local band from Hull called Brosnan. Their track's called Being Alone. I've had it stuck in my head for about 3 months now. I'm really glad to kind of premiere it out to all of you lot. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Let's play that. Here we have Brosnan, great band, great song, Being Alone. That was filmed in and around the Hull City Centre and also at the Costello Stadium. So shout out to the team there for lending us the space, and also Jodie Moore for filming that and directing that one. So remember to give us your answer in the comments to the questions that are on the screen right now. We really appreciate the feedback, and we'd love to hear personally how the music touched you or how it's made you feel, and what you think of the concept, helping young people's mental health. So moving on, we have an interview now with our very own creative industries manager here at the Warren, Ryan Johnson, and he is interviewing Claire Tomes, the safeguarding officer at Withernsea High, where this album's lyrics and words came from.
So hello Claire, welcome to the 3 Minute Hero interview and the 3 Minute Hero launch. It's good to talk to you. So could you tell us who you are and how you've been involved in 3 Minute Heroes, please?
Okay, so my name is Claire Tomes and I am the Deputy Safeguarding Lead at Withernsea High School. I also have responsibility and oversight for mental health and emotional well-being with our students. So I became involved with the project through, it was introduced actually by a different member of staff who was no longer working at the school, and I sort of took over from there. But because I have oversight for coordinating with outside agencies on projects that will help emotional and mental health and well-being, I just became involved that way. And once I got started with it, it sort of grew and we got more involved. And I've been part of quite a few of the little projects that have gone on, like the fun day we had where all the bands came in and we did a video recording. And so there's been lots of things going on. So I've been involved that way.
Fantastic. Since you've been working on it from the initial outset, what impact have you seen on the students who took part in the project?
I think the main thing, because there's been lots and lots of good stuff, but the main thing for me is just the increase in confidence that you see with the students who have taken part, in varying degrees, but some students have really come out of their shell since doing 3 Minute Heroes, and I think it's that confidence to talk about how they're feeling, knowing they're not alone with the worries, knowing that there's other people going through the same sort of things. I can just see a difference in them. They hold their heads high, they're smiling, they're talking more, they're more open. So I just think that increase in confidence and sort of resilience, knowing they can deal with things a little better, knowing that they're not the only one. As I think a lot of young people, particularly teenagers, feel that they're very alone with their worries. And I think once they realise they're not, that there's other people who feel the same way, it's a massive weight off their shoulders. So for me, it's just that increased confidence, I think, is the biggest impact.
That's good. In light of that, as you can see, we're doing this interview from our
Yeah.
in light of obviously what's happened this year.
Yeah.
How do you think 3 Minute Heroes can help young people, especially get through 2020 and through kind of the pandemic and things, big moments like we've experienced right now? How do you feel like 3 Minute Heroes could help with that?
Well, I'm hoping that the young people who've taken part have already got some of these skills now sort of embedded, but I think it's that sense that they can maybe turn adversity into something more positive, because when they do the work with the 3 Minute Heroes team and then they see the end result, which is the songs and the recording artists performing the songs and the videos that are on YouTube and such as that, I think it helps them to see that no matter what you go through, even if it's something quite difficult and even if it's emotionally very challenging, something good can come from that and something creative can come from that. And I'm really hoping that the young people who've been through the project, if they have struggled with the pandemic situation, if they have struggled over these few months, I'm hoping that they can maybe, do some artwork or do some writing or do something creative with how they're feeling, based on what they've experienced before with 3 Minute Heroes, and maybe see some good come from that. Maybe see that even though it's been a difficult time for all of us, they could actually turn that to something really positive. And I'm hoping we can implement that once we go back and work with some of those students and see what they can produce as a result, because we're going to see all kinds of different emotional responses from this situation, and we don't truly know yet how this is going to impact our young people. But I think knowing how that project works, we can really sort of utilise those skills and maybe get them doing something good from that. And I'm hoping that will help them cope with 2020, because that has been it's been a difficult time and a very unusual time. But I think the skills will have equipped them well for dealing with it.
No, I agree. I totally agree. So because you've been integral to the implementation of this within Withensea School, what would you say to other schools that are thinking about taking on 3-Minute Heroes as a potential project for their schools?
Well, I absolutely go for it. I feel like shouting from the rooftops with this one every time I'm asked. There is no downside as far as I'm concerned. Yes, the students miss a little bit of curriculum time, there's no doubt in that, but it's not long. The impact on them is so worth it. It's so worth a little bit of time out of lessons, because they can catch up work, but I don't believe that they can get this kind of impact from just talking to staff, or just sort of, the usual routes we go down if somebody's a bit upset about something. This is so unique and so different that I would say to any school, give it a try. I've seen such a difference in our students that have been through the project, that for me, I would do it every year in, year out, without batting an eyelid. It has to be one of the best things we've ever done.
Thank you. That's very nice words, and thank you for your time. That's been brilliant, and thank you. And
thank you.
We'll see you at the launch and at the panel afterwards. Hopefully, you can ask questions.
I hope so.
Thank you for your time, and I look forward to working with you in the future with this.
Thanks, Ryan. Thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. That was Claire Tomes there, safeguarding officer at Withensea High School. That was great. It's always good to hear firsthand how the project has actually impacted the young people. I guess like, as much as it is about the music and helping local musicians, and which the Warren has a long history of doing, the real reason behind it is to help young people and to help their mental health, to help their poor mental health if they have any, or just to generally build confidence and give them a bit of a new creative approach, I guess, trying something new to help them get stuck in and come out of their shells. So really interesting stuff. I can't help but wish there was something as cool as that going on when I was in school. I'd love to have kind of been on an album in that way. Really great. So just a quick reminder, there is a link on the screen right now to our Bandcamp. So if you've liked what you've heard so far and you want to hear more, you can pre-order the album with one of the singles being available right now. It's pay whatever you want, so if you want to help support more of this kind of work in schools in the area and increasing the mental health, the positive mental health of young people in schools, then please consider paying something towards purchasing the album. Right, so now we're moving on to the fun part, the live performance section of the show. First up, we've got Alice Clayton and Brody Milner. They're performing their first song on the album, actually. It's called Where to Begin, and I'm going to take over to them right now. So, enjoy.
I don't know how to start, don't know where to begin. In a world that churns out masterpieces each time it breathes in. Like a fledgling on a cenotaph with a pair of stunted wings. I don't know how to jump off, don't know where to begin. Don't know how to speak, I don't know where to begin. In a world that pours quotes down your throat like on-brand rhubarb gin. I don't know how to launch myself, I don't know how to start. I don't know how to speak out, tell me where do I begin. I don't know how to launch myself, I don't know
I was just getting into that. That was awesome. Well done, Alice Clayton and Brody Milner there with their track Where to Begin. That'll be released when the full album comes out, so that's on the 18th of September this year, and you can pre-order that on our Bandcamp now. If you like what you hear, please consider doing that. It's pay what you want. And it all goes back into supporting young people and all the good work that the Warren does with 3 Minute Heroes. So we're coming to the end of this section of the show now. I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of End of Level Baddie, aka Scott Langthorpe, and Jodie Langford, who are both artists in the city. Jodie specialises in spoken word pieces. She's done a few for us actually while we've been in lockdown. There's videos on our YouTube channel and our Facebook, so you should go check them out if you're interested. And they've been collabing together basically to do a remix version of her track, Wet Newspaper Wishes. So they're going to do a quick interview talking about what it's like to be in the shoes of an artist during the process of the project of 3 Minute Heroes, and then they're going to go over to our record store at Warren Records live and do a performance of their track just for you. So without further ado, I'll leave you with them.
Right, we're very lucky to have Jodie Langford here with us to chat to us about her involvement with the 3 Minute Heroes project. Firstly, Jodie, it's great to see you, and thank you for coming on. First thing then is, I know all about you, but some other people might not. Can you please just tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how you got involved with the 3 Minute Heroes project?
Yeah, so my name's Jodie Langford. I'm a 20-year-old spoken word artist, poet, whatever you want to call it. Obviously from Hull. So I always write a lot about young people and the sort of aspects of growing up. And that kind of thing, really. It's all like young person focused mainly. And 3 Minute Heroes, I've been involved in the project for a little while. Before it was more behind the scenes. It was like looking at how songs are recorded, looking at how it was sort of put together as a whole and the actual events. But now I've actually got, given the chance to be able to be featured as an artist, which is pretty cool, to be honest. So yeah.
And I mean, I love the track. I think it's great, and that was the one when I got asked to do a remix. That was the first one I went for. I love it.
Yeah.
The words are very poignant and relevant, and yeah, it's a great piece. It's great to have you involved with the 3 Minute Heroes project. So that leads me on to, like you've just said, you were involved a bit behind the scenes with the previous 3 Minute Heroes project, and then this time round you got more heavily involved and a featured artist on it. So what knowledge and understanding have you maybe gained from being part of the project about sort of young people's mental health as a young person yourself, but as also somebody as an artist working with the younger people's words that you turn into a song or spoken word?
Yeah, so obviously I always write from my own perspective, and sometimes I dive a little bit into other people's perspective, but mainly it's my own and my own experiences. So with this, it was very enlightening, I'd say, to have different perspectives of other people my age and younger, and what they go through, not only school pressures, but social pressures, the whole aspect of growing up and what their world's going to be when they do grow up. And even as an artist, it was a new experience, taking words that aren't my own and making them into a poem when usually it just comes straight out of my head. It was a complete new experience for me, but it was enjoyable how I could just sort of like cut and paste words together to make it, to make the structure of the poem. It was quite fun.
So are all those words? None of those words were yours. They were all from the young people, or did you was it a bit of both in there? Like,
I'd say it was probably a good 80-90% words from the young people, and then I just chipped in a bit here and there just to make certain bits flow better. But the majority of it, like especially the main sort of, I suppose like in the song you call it like the chorusy bit, that's written by a young person. The majority it's just words that I picked out from different people's pieces of writing and just laid them together just to make it make some sort of sense. Even if it does make sense, I don't really know, but there you go.
Brilliant. Yeah, I mean, I just was curious. I know obviously the whole project is about working with the young people's lyrics.
Yeah.
And obviously there's that sort of artistic, I know it can be difficult for some people
to write a song, especially around other people's words.
Yeah.
Because the creative process is a personal thing for a lot of people. So yeah, that was good to know. So, I mean, as an artist, what was it about the 3 Minute Heroes project that you sort of thought, ooh, I want to sort of be involved with that? What sort of grasped your attention?
I suppose even with the topic of mental health itself, like when I was last involved in it, I really loved the feeling of sort of beating the taboo and the stigma around it, and it was just really empowering, I suppose, for everyone involved, and especially the young people, to have, like, when we first launched it, we had the kids from the primary schools there, and you know, the look on their faces when the artists up on the stage were performing their songs was incredible. They were having an amazing time, and it's just sort of like feeling that I'm involved in change that I really like as well, and also having people's voices heard that might not have been heard before, and showing them what it can be like to perform this as an artist, and giving them that sort of platform really to show what they can do with their writing as well. That's what I really took into interest with the project.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I mean, I think it's showing young people new ways of doing things and thinking about things they might not always think about. Like, to see an artist on a stage performing their written words is got to be a great feeling, hasn't it? So on that note, to finish off with, do you have any sort of final words of encouragement for young people getting to grips with expressing themselves? Because I know it can be very difficult for people of all ages to just understand and get across what they're going through and how they're feeling.
Yeah, I just say, just don't think about it, just do it, to be honest. That's how I got into it. I just think, especially like poetry wise, like for me, is you learn a lot about poetry in school, and you learn a lot about how it should be done and the structures that you've got to follow. But until you're out there just experimenting for yourself, seeing what you like, seeing what you don't like, even just getting up like a Spotify playlist or any music streaming platform playlist, anything, even books you like, just listing everything that are your interests and putting them together and trying to mold it into some sort of, I don't know, like artistic influence, I suppose. Just do it. Just don't think about it. A lot of what I write is just stream of consciousness. It has no structure. And then I just see what fits, and get rid of the bits that I don't like, and I might play around with them later, really. Just get cracking.
Create, basically, just do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. Well, there's some great final words to finish on. Jodie, a pleasure to speak to you as always. Thank you for giving us a few minutes of your time. And that's it from us. Say goodbye, Jodie.
Bye.
Don't know how to start, don't know where to begin. In a world that churns out a masterpiece every time it breathes in. Like a fledgling on a cenotaph with a pair of stunted wings. Don't know how to speak out, don't know where to begin. In a world that pours quirts down your throat like on brand rhubarb gin. Like a princeling whose advisors are crawling under his skin. Black nights, black mornings, it's the same old story. I'm bleeding bus money in purgatory. Short term happy, long term sad, all time confused, it's nice while it lasts. My head and my bitterness leave me deaf, and the system is sick, cobbled and wet. Playing cardboard, people blink with bloodless eyes. What's wrong? What's right? Have we lost sight? The wolves hound in harmony, the suns look alike beyond the galaxy and stars. My thoughts start to thunder. Society's eating itself. What's up there, I wonder. Don't know how to start, don't know where to begin. Don't know how to start, don't know where to begin. Don't know how to start, don't know where to begin. Don't know how to start, don't know where to begin. Old problems die slowly. Old problems rise quickly. The taste of sunlight on a broken TV. The endless funeral of Wincest swallowing me. Mothers, ignorance, past experiences, foolish decisions, expectations. Mothers, ignorance, past experiences, foolish decisions, expectations. Mothers, ignorance, past experiences, foolish decisions, expectations. Humanity has become repetitive. Don't know how to start, don't know where to begin. Don't know how to start, don't know where to begin. Don't know how to start, don't know where to begin. Don't know how to start, don't know where to begin. Go back into a happy nothingness again. I don't care about people, only real friends. Sleepwalking through life, a distraction from the cold hard truth. Dreams of mum and dad together, hearing his instructions. Look where you're going, pedal fast. 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 Seems more than ever I'm off the cycle track. Realising too late I forgot my knee pads. And all of a sudden the air grows damp. Wet newspaper wishes tear at my fingers. Raindrops plummet with long sad faces. Don't know how to start, don't know where to begin. Don't know how to start, don't know where to begin. Don't know how to start, don't know where to begin. Don't know how to start, don't know where to begin. Dead pensioners playground, juvenile jungle gym. Renting out playhouses and taxing the swings. The infinite fall into the bed of wood chips. She managed somehow torture through dry lips. Force a smile upon your face as you accept life as it is.
So there you go. Amazing interview there. Amazing performance by two very talented individuals. DJ End of Level Baddie and spoken word artist Jodie Langford. Awesome. I enjoyed that a lot. Right, so unfortunately my time is now up with you. I know, sad times. But I hope you've enjoyed my hosting. I hope you've enjoyed all the great content that we've had for you tonight. And at the very least, I hope you understand a little bit more about what we aim to achieve with the initiative that is 3 Minute Heroes. If you want to help back the project, all the information that you need will be on the screen right now. Remember, you can stream the first single, Nausea Fatigue, by Joe Russell Brown now. It's out everywhere, so go check that out on Spotify. Give him the plays, the guy really deserves it. That'll be followed up by Brosnan, amazing band from Hull. Their single is called Being Alone, and that's out on the 11th of September. And on the 18th of September, which is what I was going to say, is the full album, and that will be out for you to available to pre-order on Bandcamp. It'll be out on Spotify, iTunes, all the good stuff. So please consider checking that out as well. If you've liked what you've seen tonight, please leave a comment in the comment section below. Give the stream a like, give it a share, send it to one of your friends in a message. It all really helps support what we're trying to do, which is young people and local music. And we all know how much local music is needing the support right now. So there'll be a short 3-minute break. I'm going to hand over to the rest of the 3 Minutes Heroes team, who are going to, with some guest speakers, who are going to hold the live Q&A panel for you. So we'll be answering all the questions that you've been leaving in the comments, and also some ones that we've been getting prior to this on social media. So yeah, my name is Robbie Johnson. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the flip.
I don't know how to start, don't know where to begin. In a world that churns out masterpieces each time it breathes in. I think they're great, I think they're really impressive and not that far away from the sorts of things I'd write about anyway. I think, to me, it seems like they're kind of discussing the idea of where you fit in a world with so many expectations and everything's so saturated at the minute as well, and how you kind of navigate that as you're growing up. So I think, I might have got that completely wrong, but that's sort of what it seems to be saying to me, which kind of ties in with some of the stuff I'd write about in my own songs anyway.
Well, first of all, we got the lyrics written by someone else, and it was really interesting because it was kept anonymous, so we had no idea what sort of person it was or anything like that, so we couldn't get an idea of what they want the vision to be. So we felt kind of responsible to make it as good as possible.
Yeah, I think it's massively important. I think it's a really good way to sort of get frustrations out and stuff. I think it's a way of talking and getting your feelings out loud anyway. Whenever I've sort of wrote lyrics or been through a dark time, I just found it easier to write it down and rationalise what my thoughts were anyway. So I think with music and with these lyrics as well, I think just writing down your thoughts and feelings is always a good starting point for sort of getting something off your chest.
Don't look down. Don't you worry now.
So, Scott, who are you?
Hi, I'm Scott. I work at the Warren as part of the AMP team in the recording studio, working with the young people there, and I'm also an artist and a level baddie, and I perform and also run nights in the city as well.
Amazing. Chrissy, who are you?
Hi everyone, I'm Chrissy. I'm a writer and I ran the creative writing workshops at Withensea.
Kat, who are you?
Hi, I'm Kat and I work directly with children and young people as a psychologist and a therapist. I'm going to throw in as well that I do play music outside of work. So and in Greater Manchester, I'm part of the Arts, Culture and Mental Health programme, and that's how I'm involved in 3 Minute Heroes.
Cool. And finally, last but not least, John, who are you?
My name's John. I work across all public services in Greater Manchester as part of Devolution. I am an artist as well, and I have an arts lead background as part of a range of roles I've got in Greater Manchester.
Amazing. So thank you very much for sticking around. I know we had some technical difficulties. You might have missed who I am. You might have missed who all of us are. We don't know, but that's the beauty of live streaming. So we're going to ask our questions that we've been coming through on the comments. Thank you very, very much. If you still got a question, it's not too late. You can pop your question on the comments, but let's kick it off with one from Emma, and she says, have the young people been more supportive of each other during this process? I suppose that's a question for Chrissy and Ryan, who were at Withensea High School with the young people.
Yeah, that's a really good question, actually. And I would say yes, because all of a sudden you're in this environment that's not like a normal school environment. You're suddenly bearing your soul a little bit because you're in a classroom and you're saying to people to relive certain memories, or you're asking them to go back in time and remember a particular thing that happened, and suddenly you're laying your soul quite bare. And what comes with that kind of vulnerability, which it is for all of us adults as well, I find it, you're very naked when you're sharing any of your writing or your inner thoughts with anybody. And actually what you found was these kind of really supportive groups forming and people saying, I've experienced that, and making those connections. And that's what's great about this project, is all of a sudden people are like, oh, that happened to me, and did this happen? And all of these little dots kind of light up and connect, so people become far more supportive and start talking to people they've never even have spoken to in their year or even their class before. Did you find that as well, Ryan?
Yeah, definitely. Like the couple of sessions I've been to, especially at the beginning, you see the little groups that the young people have made themselves, and then throughout the process you see, like you say, from sharing stories and stuff, you see them actually start to link, and then in different sessions you'll start to see them sitting next to one another and supporting one another. And yeah, it's real nice to see that dynamic and that process unfold. It's really nice.
Amazing. So we've got another question from Tijuana Cafe. And they said, what would be the most interesting / attractive thing about 3 Minute Heroes? I suppose that could be a question for John and Kat, because obviously you took on the project in Greater Manchester after seeing it happen in Hull.
Go, Kat, or do you want me to go?
Go on, John.
So I think we have some, we work alongside the NHS, Kat works in the NHS. We have some very traditional kind of delivery methods of mental health. And, same with this pandemic at the moment, we're very keen in this country to give people the label of mental health and kind of use that to describe what often is people's experience of life. And something like 3 Minute Heroes gives people and gives young people a sense of being able to express themselves normally, ordinarily, about their own experiences, how they're feeling, what's going on for them, what they've learned, what's been easy and what's been difficult, which is a much more engaging way of talking about the challenges that life brings, and doesn't apply that label in the same way. It's far more creative, and we know that taps into better ways of us being able to express ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get another question in. So, does anyone on the panel have a particularly poignant moment from during the process that they could share? Something that really made them think, loving the show. Thanks, Fee.
I remember in some really early workshops, there was a group that were older, and they were particularly resistant, which you do get quite a lot in any kind of writing workshop, because it's different and it's new and it's different from anything else that they've done at school. And there's that kind of, who's this woman coming in here asking me to kind of write my innermost feelings, because they've got this perception of how it's going to be. And I remember we had one particular student who really kind of emotionally struggled with it, to the point where, like I always say in workshops, write wherever you need to be. I don't expect you to sit at a desk, on a chair, if you want to write against the wall, on the floor, because you need to be comfortable. And I remember just for about 5 workshops, she just sat under the table and she just wrote and wrote and wrote, and it was obviously just her really safe space. And I remember at the end of it, she was quite resistant as well, and at the end of it she just came out and gave me a great big hug and just cried. And she'd just written tons and tons and tons about her life, the things that happened to her, and her experiences it was one of those moments where you just think, oh yeah, this is completely, you were totally the right person for this project. You've loved it, you've embraced it, and she just flew with it. It was brilliant.
Yeah, I know I only went to a few sessions, but there's one girl when we first started who was really quiet and didn't even open her book. We gave her a book the first session. She just wasn't bothered. She was just sat, you could tell she was listening, but she was not engaging, not opening her book. And then when I came back like 3 weeks later, she opened her book and was drawing, but still listening, not writing anything, just doodling. And then by the end of the sessions, she'd written something. And just seeing that process, they just need that time to understand what's happening and feel safe in that space. And it's amazing to see them go from, oh, I'm not going to bother with this, I'm just going to sit here, to, oh, maybe I'll just draw a picture and do my own thing, to, oh, actually I will do what you're saying because I know that it'll help me, and it's pretty amazing.
And I think that's one of the brilliant things about it. There's kind of no rules in many ways. So I think, like I quite often say, if you want to doodle, because you'll get, can I write my name on the front of my book, or can I draw in the margins? Yeah, it's your book, you do whatever. You honestly, if you want to express yourself by drawing, go for it. And you can see that, like, really, can I? But I'm told that's like graffitiing. No, please do it. And it's kind of step by step, it's just kind of opening up a little bit more. It's trust, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Trust with each other.
So let's kick off with another question. For Hallie York asked, do young people help write the music, or is that something you'll look to get them involved with in the future? So how about Scott? You were an artist who wrote a track. What do you think about, I know they haven't yet, the young people only write the words, and bands and singer-songwriters write the music, but how would you feel if we were to say, oh, a young person's going to help you make your track?
I mean, it feels like a natural progression, really. I mean, I got drafted in quite late on in the process. I wasn't involved because it's been quite a lengthy process, this current 3 Minute Heroes project. And when I started at the Warren, I got asked if I could, as an extra little cherry on the cake, do a remix of a track. I mean, I think there's something to be said for separating the young people's words from them and then giving them to musicians to interpret. But obviously there'll be a lot of talented young people who will have been a part of the writing process that probably would have liked to have contributed to the musical process. I mean, maybe now that this is becoming a thing in Manchester, the other members of the panel might want to say how they might take it that way with their project as they go forward with it.
Yeah, is that something that maybe it could happen? It could develop if especially because we're kind of at the Warren, we're a step ahead of Manchester, really, because we've done a project and then you're starting to launch a project. So do you think that's something that could potentially be the next step for you guys?
Yes, so I think I feel like the model is working, and like you said, you're a step ahead. So I think the next stages will be sort of emanating what you've done and finding some exciting bands around Manchester. You know, we've got lots of people playing music around Manchester. It'd be really good to connect those into this project.
I agree with Scott as well. I think it's a natural progression, but I think it needs to be organic. I don't think it's something that could be forced. Like you say, it has to be kind of natural. But yeah, it would be another interesting element to it, I guess.
Yeah, because well, I know that when I was a kid, if someone said to me, "You need to do this," I was automatically like, "I'm not doing that." So yeah, I think it needs to be organic, doesn't it?
And especially with like music being cut from schools as well, from the school curriculum, it could be another potential outlet for them to express themselves as well, building something like that into it. So
yeah, don't get me started with them getting cuts. That'll be like, it will be here for forever. Let's click off another question. Gemma's asked, what's your the young people's vision of where you see 3 Minute Heroes in the future if you had no limits? So I suppose we've kind of touched on they could write their music, but if we had no limits and there was no budgets and there was no COVID, where do you think 3 Minute Heroes could go next?
I mean, it would be lovely to have 3 Minute Heroes run as part of the school curriculum for schools. I think that would be the absolute dream. We were lucky enough at Widensea that they actually did that, so it was incorporated into the school day, which I think worked brilliantly. So you're not asking students to come in earlier or later, which can be a barrier to accessing the programme. But actually, when it's during the school day, I think that worked really, really well. So that would be the complete dream, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone else?
I suppose as well, like it could just be a part of general youth work, you know, as well as within a school curriculum. It just be a thing that just is. There's a place to get that done in most cities through the NHS or through the education system or through youth services like the Warren. Like if everyone in every city that ran a project like that
you know, there'd be so many people that would benefit from it, and it could, you know, then you've got, if we're ever allowed again, gigs and events and that cross-pollination of the children's, the young people's writings, as well as them getting involved in the music and in organising the events and things like that. It's got legs. Yeah.
I would really like to see a review about the impact of it, and so that we could kind of, because, you know, we're talking about things and how it works, and there's lots of different levels that it works at, but it'd be really good if we had a research team behind it to sort of evidence that and know where to target it.
Yeah, definitely. I know that Hull University have written a report on the first two projects, the first two albums, which should be finished very soon. So I suppose that's a starting point, isn't it? And then it's just getting other people to evaluate, like your project in Manchester, and yeah, maybe if we do next phases or whatever, just constantly capturing the impact, because that's the only way that people are going to listen. If you say that this is working and this is helpful, and you can prove that with facts and figures, that's the only way that it will be embedded into the curriculum. Yeah. Sorry, let me. So we've got a question: has any artwork been produced by pupils during this process as a means of self-expression?
I think there was artwork. I mean, obviously we're focusing on creative writing, but there was a lot of artwork that kind of went side by side with the writing, in terms of illustrating some stuff that can't be put into words. We do a lot of that, or just general doodling. I love to do an exercise that I call stream of consciousness, where literally you've got to write whatever's in your head, but you can't take your pen off the paper. So it's a really good writing prompt just for getting things going a little bit. So quite often people respond to that with a lot of art, just because it's kind of, sometimes it's easier, or a really good stepping stone, or just how people like to express themselves. It's really varied, isn't it? We're all different. So yeah, there was some artwork for that.
Oh, amazing. So that's all of our questions that's come up. Thank you so much. And I'm really sorry to all of those listening that we had our technical difficulties, but we got there in the end. We sorted it out. I just want to finish with this comment from Eloise Emily. She just said, I love all the songs we've heard so far. Clearly very impressive work for the young people, artists and everyone involved. The lyrics are really powerful and not only relatable to young people, but to everybody in some way or another. And I think that just sums up what 3 Minute Heroes is and what we're trying to do. But thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. And yeah, hope you enjoy it. See you soon. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.